What's going on? I realize that people are really getting sick of it. There's a small population of people who are not only determined to change their situation, but they are changing their situation. Understanding that there's pros and cons with changing their environment, understanding that there's pros and cons with leaving their family, friends, work, their belongings behind, understanding that some of the moves and decisions they're making are indefinite. There's people who are actually kind of jumping ship in a sense, to where they've weighed out the pros and cons and they've deemed fit that it was good for them, for their family, to disperse, to leave. There's a lot of people leaving the United States. There's almost 400 million people, right? So just over a third of a billion people in the United States. It's one of the biggest countries in the world. I believe it's top 5 to top 8. I am not a geographical enthusiast or analyst, but it's somewhere up there with the likes of China, Russia, Canada, and so on and so forth. It's a huge spot. Check your facts. It's a huge spot. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But anyway, huge spot. But a very, very small percentage is leaving. And that small percentage is a lot of people, man. You're talking about 3, 4, 5 million people around the country are leaving America, are fleeing America, are looking to depart and see, it's about to rain, and see what else is out there, man. Because you know what I realized, and what I think, a couple of millions of other people who's realized up until this point, is that there's Americans who honestly believe that the United States is the only country in the world. I'm just gonna leave it at that. The only country in the world that makes sense. I think some people just believe that the United States is the only country in the world, man. And it's drawn by just people's actions, attitudes, their language, their vocabulary. Their disposition is like, America is it. I'm gonna stay on this side. America is it. Don't get me wrong, right? I don't want to come from a full jaded perspective. I like to be open-minded, and I like to be analytical, and I like to look at different ideas and look at different ways of thinking. America is very opportunistic, and I don't, if it weren't for America, for a lot of people would be literally homeless. It's very, very opportunistic in a sense where, if you're just born here, you have opportunities rather than other places. But forget all that, right? I think we have an understanding of all that jazz. Scotty want to say hi. Americans, right? Just stop. I think we have an understanding of that, but we settle on that. We're good with that, and it's like Americans, man. This place is not just home. This place is the end all be all. If it's not American, you're wrong. So it's like when you're born, right? And you only seen this side of the fence, literally this fence. If you're only born on that side of the fence, and you've lived there for 10, 20, 30, 40, 80 years, right? You're gonna believe that's right. That's how we freaking think, man. You're gonna believe that's right. Even when things tell you that it's not all correct, even when there's variables, even when there's red flags, right? Telling you that's not correct. But people get stuck in their ways, right? It's just like a bad relationship, you know? It's like you've been in a relationship for 10 or 15 years and ain't really no love between you and your partner, but it's safe, it's comfortable because you've been now used to things, right? But we forget we're such an adaptive species, like, you know, just the way we adapt to different like cultures, different like time eras with music, dancing, and all this stuff. You know, there's a lot of progressiveness going on. Don't get me wrong, but we get stuck in the mindset thinking that this whole mixing bowl is the end all be all. When I don't even think people realize there's almost 190 other countries. Right? America is only 1 or 2% of the world, dude. From a region standpoint, again, it's one of the biggest countries in the world, so by population, it's not. But there's countries that people haven't even heard of, man, including myself. There's countries where there's only, 100,000, 250,000 people, 500,000 people actually reside in, and people have no idea. Why? Why do I need to look if I'm here already? America, I look at America as, what do you call it? Like Venom. If y'all seen the movie Venom, right? You know, the adjacent character to like Spider-Man. I think of America like Venom. You know, it leeches on to you, right? You know, it leeches on to you, and you become its host. To live and survive, right? Eddie Brock can't live and survive without that Venom suit on him, attached to him. It's symbiotic, right? Or symbiotic. I may be saying it wrong. And it's like, dude, I'll keep going this way. That's what America does. First and foremost, you have to work here in America, right? There's even an income stipulation, even if you're on Section 8, right? There's some sort of income that you gotta have, man. Some sort of income to live in America. It feeds off of us. Like, America we've heard this in history for years, for decades, centuries. America has been built on the backs of its people, and it continuously progresses to do so. All these businesses is built on the backs of people. Now it's not just black people. It don't matter what race you are. Why? The workforce population has imploded. People are starting to make money earlier. People still have to make money as they get into their 60s and 70s. They have to acquire an income outside of SSI and 401k. America has not given us the full ability, the full reign, the scale for us to grow and be self-sufficient from all these variables that I will not get into, So this is, it allows people to think, well, can there be something outside of this? Well, I don't know. If people don't travel, I know people whose work, right, was in the military. So it forces them to travel, be outside of comfort zone. They get a little broader scale of what people aren't used to from an American standpoint, and it's like, you know, they get understanding. Some of these people in the military see different parts of the world by default. Some come back to America because they are American, and some people stay. Some people stay where they're at. Some people stay where they're deployed. You know, people who travel again for work or travel to unplug from the American society. People go away to different parts of the country, parts of the world, to different countries. And some people develop an idea, well, dang, I don't want to go back. How can I sustain a living outside of America, although I am younger than most, or although I'm not ready to fully retire? How can I sustain, you know, a lifestyle outside of America? Obviously, that becomes the thought when people are looking to leave. And there's some people who are standing on their 2 feet, holding their core in, taking a deep breath and saying, let's jump. Because it's possible, the possibility with making passive income, of people who are able to save or invest, obviously people who are able to retire, for whatever the reason, people are getting work permits to travel and work remote. There's different reasons now. People are now looking to escape and getting their ducks in a row, because that's where it's came to. Get up on out of here. That's what it's came to. It's crazy. I've heard this a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. The American dream isn't dead. It's just been displaced. The American dream is just somewhere else. It's crazy. So, I mean, look at it, man. Look at it for what it's worth. Look at the climate. Look at what's going on. Just study how people just drive here, man, on a regular. Just look at the basics. Look at basic mechanics, basic body language for people, behaviors. Just going to the stores, go to the gyms. Just look at different things. The small environment around you is going to give you a telltale scale of what the world, what the country is like. Even if you're just in this one city or one zip code, you know. People are leaving, trying to see something different. People are trying to understand more so of what culture means, of what being more, honed into family, of what trying to establish or be more self-sufficient means from an income perspective, on looking at how to better their quality of life from a health perspective, better their mental, get more in touch with their spiritual. It's like, what this cop is doing up here. Like, people, so I'm distracted by this cop. Like, people are looking at just bettering their life, taking these small kind of pre-planned steps and just jumping right in, man. Or some is just jumping right in, I implore y'all, continue to look at the climate, man. Look at the climate. What the hell is going on with all these cops everywhere, man? I don't know what's going on. You just gotta have 5 cops just pulled up. Shit, I'm not gonna take a look. All right, y'all be easy. I'm gonna take a look at what the hell is going on. But check out y'all climate. People are leaving America for multiple reasons. See if it works for you. That's not always the case for everybody. But see if it works for you, man. Y'all be easy.